building, and this is the first story from this spot. It's about Iron Maiden. They're a heavy metal institution now, and they got that way without ever having to rely on top 40 singles to sell their attitude, or without ever resorting to the classic heavy metal trappings. In 1984-1985, on the World Slavery Tour, Iron Maiden toured in 24 countries in 322 days, and they were the first ever major rock band to tour behind the Iron Curtain. Just to give you a little idea of the consumptive power of Iron Maiden, we've compiled a short list of the things they managed to go through on that tour. Lori Brown, if you would.
7,778 hotel rooms.
30,000 soft drinks.
50,000 cans of beer.
6,000 pints of milk.
100,000 miles of road work.
6,392 guitar strings.
And 3,670 drumsticks.
And precisely 3,008 guitar picks. This time Iron Maiden is bound to exceed those numbers. They're off promoting the Somewhere in Time album, and they'll do 28 countries in 13 months. When they passed through Toronto to do 2 shows at Maple Leaf Gardens, I didn't feel like subjecting them to yet another hotel room interview, so I took Bruce Dickinson and Nico McBrain on a field trip to the Science Center.
Which they've seen 498 times.
Where'd you get that number?
This is unreal. Into my eyes. You can get a charge out of this every day. Things are really crackling now.
Tell me why Iron Maiden's never gotten into the whole fashion, glam, heavy metal, stereotypical stuff. I mean, you wouldn't want to look like this all the time.
That's true, but, you know, I'm old-fashioned, you know. I mean, I was born a guy, so I figured women should wear the makeup.
Well, what do you think of bands like that, you know, go for all-out makeup and hair standing on end, the glam rock? Do you think it detracts from the music?
If you're doing it, if you're doing it for dramatic effect or theatrical effect, like, I suppose David Bowie in his early days, or Peter Gabriel from Genesis, things like that, that's different. That's using it to create something. But just doing it for the sake of, because you think it looks cool or something, I've never really been into that. So. I must be weird or something. Sorry.
As a small logo, but quickly became omnipresent in Iron Maiden's live shows, the album art, and their merchandising. So when Eddie first started as a little thing, he's grown so much now into being such a massive part of the art, the show, and everything. Does he sort of take a face for you when you want to be faceless?
Yeah, usually this kind of place here, this little chap's in here.
The baboon face,
yeah. Well, this sort of place here. This is me. This is Eddie.
But what does Eddie represent?
Difficult to say. He changes. He's like a monster movie anti-hero. Clint Eastwood and monsters. I mean, what does Clint Eastwood represent? He just goes around killing people, right, all the time for no apparent reason because he feels like it. But there's a kind of weird morality to the things that, like, you know, the bad dude, anti-hero cowboy does. And the same thing with Eddie. You know, you'd never see him killing a helpless victim. Or maybe you would, but you think, he's probably deserved it. You know what I mean? So he's that kind of a guy. You're a regular all-American hero. Look at these chicken McNuggets in making. Safe driver, huh?
Unlike many heavy metal bands, crowd violence is not something that is associated with Iron Maiden. The audience reaction is boisterous, but Maiden is careful to pace their show so that the crowd exodus at the end is peaceful.
When you do something like a concert, it's very easy. There's a lot of energies released, and it's very easy for people to go out and think it's okay. I mean, let's face it, we've all done things when we were a kid. You know, like you go out and you go and do something and you get real crazy, and you go out and you think for a while, you know, that you're invincible, you're Superman out there on the street, and you can go and shout things at policemen and, you know, throw things at street lights and things, and do all this kind of stuff. And you do it because you're a kid and because you don't really, you know, you're not really thinking, you know, 6 steps ahead. That's why kids are so great, because they don't have all these inhibitions. But at the same time, you've got to, sometimes you have to say, hey guys, be cool when you go outside, you know, because we've just been in a little bubble here, locked in our Maple Leaf Gardens little fantasy world for 2 hours, and it's been great. but outside is a whole different ball game, and you know, we've got to be aware of that. You know, you escape into your dreams when you want, but make sure that you know that at the end of the day, you know, reality is going to come round the corner like a juggernaut. You've got to deal with that too.
This is how they make rock journalists. They all come out of the same mold.
And they all ask the same question.
They all ask the same question. It's true. You know. Start.
Measures the fitness level of your lungs and circulatory system. It consists of 2 3-minute sessions of stepping in time to music.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step, step.
Let's talk about the physicality of the show, all the leaping about and things.
Well, we have a lot of stairs on the stage too. You can follow me around here if you want. Yeah, there's quite a lot of leaping around. The great thing about it is if you're a singer is that you have to hold your breath while you're doing it. Or actually be breathing out, which is kind of funny because all the time it's a pretty dumb thing to do. You're leaping around, your body's actually screaming, breathe, you sucker, and you're insisting on singing all the time, you know. Fairly bizarre thing to do to your body. Mind you, not as bizarre as sitting on a stool and hitting things with bits of wood, but I mean...
4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. In real life, Bruce Dickinson keeps in shape by competing in international fencing tournaments.
Yes.
But lately, his spare time has been occupied by more cerebral pursuits. He's writing a book, a whodunit black comedy.
I wrote most of it in about 2 months in Europe when I was touring over there. And one evening in Helsinki, there was nothing to do. And I had this name for a character that I had sitting around for a long time.
Okay, describe the central character.
An eccentric, slightly sexually perverse English landlord who's broke. An a sexually perverse but in a different way butler who's got something to hide. They're stuck in a remote estate in the north of Scotland, broke. And they come up with an idea for raising some money, which involves inviting three couples who are all complete strangers up to the house on a pretense, which is not the real reason they're going there. All the couples' relationships are all in various stages of decay for various reasons. They're all very ill-matched, but they all start falling in love and jumping into bed with each other. And of course, they've all got, each one has got something to hide as well. And then they all start to die one by one in very bizarre circumstances. I've taken bits of everybody. It's a very dangerous thing because I mean everybody, really go, oh, I know who that is, or I know who that bit or a particular scene or something, where you take something and you extend it. You take a little personality trait of somebody and you blow it up to enormous proportions, so it's like a major character flaw, And
So you have to wait for all your friends pass on before you can publish it?
No, not at all. I don't care.